that one, and she talks about unity. Unity, Benta, and
Mickey.
unity.
Yeah, but there's a Mickey too.
I don't know Mickey.
Not far from Ephesus, across from Ephesus.
Oh, I don't know any Mickey. The only Mickey I know is Mickey Mouse. All right, let's start the stream now. Okay, certain things that we're looking at. I just want to share with you a few of the sayings, and I know we were talking about it when we read the story. I can't remember the title right now, but Monday night when we read, it had to do with banding together.
Band of Brothers?
Band of Brothers, right?
Okay.
Something like that. But I looked at it, the fact that when we work together, we can get so much more done. So I wanted to share, I'll wait till everyone comes back before I share some of the things on working together, some sayings, some scriptures, some things of that nature. But let's look at our sharing. Ever since we were little children, we've been taught to share. It's good, not even share. Yet, for most of us, it remains as hard as ever to share of both our resources and ourselves. Why? Because at the very core of sinful human nature is the desire to get, not give, to accumulate and not relinquish, to look out for ourselves and not others. The Bible calls us to share many things: our resources, our faith, our love, our time, our talents, and our money. Sharing is using and enjoying something we have with others. Now, and then I did some research, I came up with that on sharing. How hard is it to share?
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard. But can I ask you a question?
Sure.
You said children, we're taught to share from childhood. But the thing is, children really don't share
No.
that well. Because they are the center of their universe. So
Right.
what's theirs is theirs. And it's going to stay theirs for a while.
And they're not sharing it. They
They're not
just don't want to
sharing
give it up. It's like, it's mine. It's mine. You don't have to. I love it, Joshua, because usually with siblings, it's a situation where they don't, they know they're brothers, but they don't want to share. And especially like with clothes and it's boys, I think girls, if it was two girls, it would have been the same thing. So after, like once things are Joshua's size, and then he grows out of it, Eli like automatically becomes mine. Because it's not your size anymore. And I was like, wow. And it's true, because I was like, okay, who wears size, now we're up to size, who wears size 12? Yeah, it's me. So, and then Josh, well, that's mine. Nope. He's like, I'm size 12, it's mine. And I thought about it and said, wow, even the simplest things.
But it's the same thing for us too.
Yeah.
Because we don't like to share.
Yeah.
I mean, we will if we have
If
to.
you have to.
But 97% of the time, we don't like to share.
It's a 97%. But you know what? People don't like to share. And when you even when you find a situation where somebody's willing to share, it takes a lot of breaking and bending and molding for people to share. And you have to have, something has to let go in your mind. Something has to let go in your mind where you have to say, you know what? I have more than enough. I don't need that anymore. But our human nature is like, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. And share, I'm not sharing with you.
I share.
Well, you share with me. That's because you...
No, but I share in general.
Yeah, you share. I thought it said, not that I love you, I just feel sorry for you.
No, it's just, I was brought up that way.
See, but being brought up that way, but Sister Yvonne had a good point. Kids don't initially share.
No.
They don't.
No.
They're like, it's mine.
Yeah.
The first fights that happen on the playground is usually over some toy that somebody else gets, and the other kid socks them. You took my toy, pow!
No, selfishness starts the minute you come out. You start screaming at everybody, come on, pay attention to me over here. You know, yes, but you're trained to be charitable.
To be charitable, to share.
Yeah, because children model their adults.
Wow.
If you grow up in a home where sharing is a normal thing,
That's
then
right,
that's
begins
what
at
you do,
home.
you share, yeah.
And you gotta train them, you know.
Because you see children put on, just like how children put on their parents' big shoes and things like that.
Right.
They want to be like their parents. So that's why you do good things that they model good things.
Okay. Somebody read Matthew 7:12. Huh? You know there's nothing in my mouth. Chewing the cud.
Well, Matthew 7:12.
What does it say? Somebody read that for me, Matthew 7:12?
Therefore, all things whatsoever evil that men should do to you, do ye even to them. For this is the law and the prophets. This is the law and the prophets.
So basically, you ever heard it says, do unto others as you have them do unto you? The way you want to be treated, treat others the way you want to be treated. Somebody tell me here, this is a general question. I did some research, and when we looked at this morning the 7 things that God hates, we looked at, and the reason why I'm talking about sharing, how that's incorporated in what we're discussing. When we looked at Proverbs 6, it says 6 things that God hates, yet 7 are an abomination unto him. And a proud look. When you have a proud look, and the reason why I talk about sharing, what's a proud look? When someone is proud, looking proud. Haughty eyes. And that's a lot of translations that you know it's on. So what's a proud look? Anyone?
When you disdain others or
Right.
you think that
I'm up here.
Yeah, you're condescending.
And you're down there. Is someone like that truly able to share? Think about it.
They might give you what they don't want.
Right.
I've had that where people think this is okay for you, and I remember I was at a lady house. She's an Indian from India, I think. She was adopted, whatever, and she said, "Oh, here's this cheese. You can have this cheese." I do not eat cheese. And just started saying all the things that's terrible with cheese. I said, "But why do you think I eat cheese?" You don't eat cheese? No. Take it for yourself. So that's the thing. They may, I don't know if you call that sharing in a sense, because they may give you something, but they give you something that they don't need, or they don't even want.
That's not sharing.
Well, you know,
That's not sharing.
can I go down?
If you share, you give good. You share good.
Well, when you share, you're giving your best. Let me point out, a lot of times people come and they give stuff to the church. And they said, "Oh, I'm going to give this stuff to church." And I remember I told his brother one time, he had a bunch of stuff that he didn't want, and you know those old big TVs, everybody's getting flat screens now, and he was trying to get rid of it, and he was like, "Oh man, I just wanted to give this to the church." I said,
Wanted you to double it.
"But why are you giving that to the church?" He said, and we were talking like I said, "We like flat screens here. We don't like the big ones like that anymore." And he goes, "Oh." I said, "Why are you giving it to her?" "I got a new one." "Did you get a flat screen?" He goes, "Yeah."
See, he
So why would you give what you don't want anymore
To the church.
to the church?
But he wanted you to dump that big old-fashioned television.
There's still one down there that somebody trying to give to the church.
Oh, wow.
And the thing is, and I said, if God gave you his leftovers, where would you be? He gave you his best in Jesus Christ.
That's right.
God didn't give you, he didn't share with you his leftovers, what he doesn't want. And a lot of us have the mindset, I'm going to give God the leftovers. But God gave us his best in Jesus. He didn't say, funny that angel, I don't even know, number 9,000 something back there. Hey, you angel, what's your name? I need you to go die for them. He didn't do that. He gave us his best.
That's right.
And you have to keep that in mind.
And we shouldn't give God the leftover.
You have to give God your best. People say, oh, when I'm old and I can't walk no more, then I'm going to go work for the church. Why can't you give God when you're quick? You get.
But when you're that old, maybe by then your heart is hardened.
Your heart is hard, and you don't. I don't want to go for the church. I just go because I know I'm gonna die. That's what a lot of people say. I know I'm dying soon, so I'm gonna go.
But it's
That's an insult when you give.
It is an insult because you're not giving them your best. That's it.
yeah, and
Oh, hold
I
on.
think
Yeah, sorry.
that might be a trick of the devil to let people put off their salvation.
Yep.
Because you have no control over tomorrow.
I know what you
Tomorrow
mean.
is not promised.
It's not promised to anyone.
Tomorrow is not promised. So if you fool yourself to think, oh, well, that day may never come for you.
And it won't.
That's right.
Now, Sharon, when you have a private look, is that being humble?
No, it's opposite.
There you go. Why is it the opposite of humility?
It just is.
It just is. Yeah, it just is. What does it mean what is humility? Anyway.
Now, being proud, it means to be humble and to accept that there might be others who are equal or better than you. That's just, accepting reality, and that we are all manner of the same flesh and same blood, and we have distinct abilities, but none better than the other.
Well, none better. What does, when we say, God, I say,
When you were speaking this morning about a party look,
yeah,
all I could think of is people, when you were speaking this morning about a party look,
yeah.
all I could think of is all these people, especially young women, doing, having selfies, making selfies.
Yep.
And they all think that they're better than anyone else. You look how pretty I am, look what I can do, look, look where I am, that kind of thing. And that's the first thought that I had.
But isn't that, and I'm looking at it as a societal thing. And I'm going to share with you the definition of humility. And humility is a modest or low view of one's own importance, humbleness. Did you hear that? Modest or low view of one's own importance. So if somebody says to you, you know what, hey, I may have saved some lives, but it was through the grace of God I was able to do it.
Right.
It wasn't, I'm just doing my job. When people like to say, I'm just doing my job. But today, like as Sister Yvonne said, everybody's like this. And that's how they're doing their selfies. They got their cheeks tucked in, they put it out there. And y'all laughing, but that's the only time you see people and that's all they're doing. Is that, people say, oh, well, that's just, I'm just showing that I'm confident.
No, it's actually, it's the opposite. It's a lack of confidence.
There you go.
That causes you to want to project that.
Right.
We all have lack. We have lack of We have insecurity and things like, we all have, to some extent, some of that. But it's when it gets to a greater extent, where you have to, because your insecurity is so great, then you have to project more. The more you see someone projecting that, is the more insecure they really are.
When Joseph interpreted dreams, who did he give the credit to?
God.
God.
Daniel did the same thing.
Who did Daniel, thank you.
The
Who did Daniel give the credit to?
The
Who did Jesus give the credit to?
The Father.
Go ahead, I see a hand. You have a mic? Bible. Go. Thank you.
But the thing is about Joseph is that Joseph did give the honor to God, but it was his father's, I can't say lack of knowledge, but his great love for Joseph made the coat that made his brothers jealous of him.
Yes.
That's what changed the
So
situation.
not even just the coat, he favored those children because they were Rachel's children.
Right, yes, absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
But you see, and when humans put their 2 cents in, his dad, Joseph's dad was the one who caused the problem.
Yes, but she made him this coat and then.
And Jacob was the reason. And then, look at dysfunctional families. First of all, he had all these women, and you look at, I have to break down before I'm going from memory now, but he had all these women that were competing for his attention. But yet, his attention was all his affections were geared towards Rachel. But at the same time, he didn't fight it that much. He was still having intimate relations with all of them. So how much did he fight it? He still had intimate relations and made children with all of them. Okay, so.
So that shows the weakness of men, and it reassures us of how we're
So he was a
using
player.
God's graces.
Yeah.
Because when God says, tell them I'm the God of Jacob, Isaac, and he keeps saying that. The different times when he sent people, to remind them of who he was, he said, tell them I'm the God of Jacob, Isaac, and Abraham. And he put Abraham like third. So it just tells us that, the yellow mic. It just tells us that we are all flawed human beings, but despite those flaws, our Heavenly Father is still the constant, and He will.
But God is continuing, and that's when you look at because when you look at, we mentioned Joseph, when he answered Pharaoh, he let him know, it's God. When we look at even Moses said to God, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the children of Israel out of Egypt?
That's humility when you don't think yourself worth.
I can't do this, because remember, and that's after he was broken, because before he thought like,
Because when Moses said that to God, in my opinion, is that he did not have a relationship with God at that point. And he did not know exactly who and how strong God was.
That's true. And,
but even though,
wasn't
in being humble, he understood, because remember,
Pharaoh wife tried to.
he thought, in his pride, he thought that, you know what? When he saw the guy beating the Egyptian, beating the Israelite, what did he do? Went up and says, boom. He killed him first. And that was before God said, go get my people going. He was like, so there were many factors. One, he knew he was wanted there for murder. And he fled. And then at the same time, he knew that he couldn't kill the whole Egyptian army. and he says, God is trying to send me as a representative, I can't do this, who am I? And a lot of times people think, you know, I'm a brain surgeon, so, you know, or a rocket scientist is what the term they use. And they say, oh, it's not brain surgery, it's not rocket science. But I share with you, God uses the simplest of things to profound and confound those who believe it's the intellectual giants. I've heard people say, I'm the most intelligent person in this house. I'm the smartest one. But yet, you ask them, how much you get for your pension? Got no answer. You're so smart, you do it.
The thing I see with Moses,
Okay.
you had the Moses, I think he got converted in between the killing of the...
Yeah, when he fled, he got converted, especially after the mountaintop experience.
With conversion comes the humility.
Come humility.
Because I'm imagining this kid, he was born, and he was saved from the river, right?
Yes.
And his mother got to educate him for a while. That's why he knew to kill the
Up to the point of
Egyptian, right?
bleeding. Yeah, right.
And he may have been taught that he was going to be the one to deliver.
You're special, baby.
Yes.
They probably told him this picture.
Not just he was told that he was special, but he was taught the ways of the Hebrew God.
Yes.
And he had that righteous indignation. That's what flew up in him, you know.
Okay.
That righteous indignation, because he still identified himself as a Hebrew, even though he was in Pharaoh's
Right.
palace. And he perhaps, because you know sometimes God has a plan, but we as men have our own plan. And in his mind, he thought he was going to liberate the people of Israel from in that palace.
He's the engineer.
Yes.
He was going to do it from the inside out.
Right.
Right.
But then
I
self
didn't
got
need
ahead
God.
of him. Self got ahead of him. And when he heard the Egyptian, he thought the Hebrews
He
would
killed
say, he's our brother, he's one of us.
Mm-hmm.
But the Hebrews didn't, because they were still slaves. They had that slave mentality. And so they were going to be willing to snitch on him. And that's when he ran.
And they
But-
were, because at one point.
They did snitch on him.
They did. They said, you killed, you know, what's up with that? You killed that Egyptian.
You want to kill us, that's how you kill us.
You wanna kill us like the
But somehow
Egyptians?
in between there, I think that tending sheep, because that's why God calls us sheep.
Go ahead now.
Tending sheep had an effect on him. And that's where the humility came in, where he went from being this prince in a palace to have people bow every time he passed, to now trying to deal with sheep. Probably coming home every day smelling like sheep. And that humility came in there where he no longer thought himself so powerful that he could deliver the children of God.
So are you saying that it takes a point where each of us must be broken? Come on now.
But God will do what he wants to save us.
Right.
Well,
Some of us will have to get ill. Some of us will have to get broke. Some of us may have to get children. Some of us may have to get a certain job. You know,
Well, look what he
yeah,
did.
but I'm talking about, but I'm talking about even though that beyond before
everything
9/11,
else too.
how he was broken. And a lot of times I ask the question, do we have to be broken? You don't have to get sick or ill to be broken. But at some point,
Submit.
well, even if you submit, you can still be broken. He thought he was doing the will of God
Yeah.
by, I'm the deliverer. And then he realized, I can't beat the whole Egyptian army.
No.
So, go ahead. Okay? Go ahead. Okay, so I asked, do we have to be broken? Sister Zenny said yes.
Well, if there are people, Jesus didn't have to be broken. Jesus,
Why not?
because he submitted to the Holy Spirit and his will was not his own. But it's when we go and say our will.
Not my will, right.
Daniel didn't have to be broken.
Right.
Joseph himself, he didn't have to be broken. He stayed humble the whole time. The Hebrew boys, they didn't have to be broken. It is when you don't submit to the will of God that you have to be broken. And some of us, that's why I use.
Did Samson have to be broken?
Yes, big time. Some of us,
David have to be broken?
yes.
I'm gonna call, we keep calling David, Bible cat, Bible cat. Did Paul have to be broken?
Yes.
Come on now.
You gotta get up and
Yeah, but he got knocked, he got blinded.
Nothing to do.
Did all the disciples have to be broken?
Yes.
Come on now.
That's right.
Think about all the major and minor prophets at some point had to be broken.
That's right.
There are few people that stood out. Abraham had to be broken. Yes.
Yeah, because he called.
Jacob had to be broken. Go ahead, I'm sorry. Use your mic. Mike.
Abraham had to be broken because look how long he lived there, and his father was one of them that made the images and stuff like that. But God saw something in Abraham, and he called him out.
But that's what I'm pointing out. For that reason, he said, God calls us out and we get broken. But you see, the thing is, that proud look that we have,
Gotta get rid.
we got to get rid of it. And there are few people in the Bible who didn't have to be broken, but I can even tell you certain cases that Joseph was broken.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Even though he
was not as profound.
It may not be profound.
When he got to Egypt, he was a different young man.
But by the time when he came, and he was arrogant and cocky among his brothers. And when they sold him, they brought him down a notch. He had to be broken.
Yeah.
Come on now. Okay, but I'm just thinking, I'm just going there, but a progress, as you were saying.
Joseph, the father really, what happened to Joseph?
Use the mic, there you go, thank you very much. I can hear you now.
Spoiled him.
The father,
Spoiled him when he made him just, like a prince.
point towards your
Like a
mouth.
prince out of Joseph. And that made the hatred for the brother against David. Joseph. And they said,
But he was
what are you
proud.
gonna do to him? Because they were gonna kill him. And they said, no. And then they sold him to the Egyptian, and that's how he,
But that was great, that was humbling.
in Egypt, he was humble. He really.
No, he was humble because he was sold by his brothers. Because he was cocky.
But to me, Joseph is getting blamed for things that he was innocent of.
There were many innocent people in jail. We get blamed for things that we're innocent of. But yet we still have to keep pressing on, just as Joseph did. Because I know it wasn't Joseph the bird, but they told me it was. You understand? I know it wasn't, but they told me it wasn't, but you're going to keep pressing on anyway. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. But the point I'm making is a problem is one of the most, that's why it's the introductory statement, is you do not get rid of that proud look where you overestimate yourself and devalue everyone else. You are not, and the only one that I saw that, and it was that their low aspect is broken, is Jesus. Because Jesus always saw everyone else.
Daniel too.
Value, huh?
Daniel.
Daniel, well, Daniel also, but Daniel was broken, I believe, when he was put into slavery. It showed him, yeah, he was broken there. So that's why I said, the only one that wasn't broken, didn't have to be broken, was Jesus, because he knew why he was here. And the reason why he knew he was here, understood, was because he was always plugged in. Boom, plugged into his Father. I must be about my Father's business. From the time he's 11, you have to remember how old the Jewish boy in the bar mitzvah?
13.
13. So even before the bar mitzvah, he knew he was about his Father's business.
Yeah, amen.
So it wasn't a situation of having to break him, he just had to wait till the appointed time. Come on now, please, hold the pillars. But that's why he said, I will not. And think about who Jesus was. With a father like Joseph that's a carpenter. When you look at carpenters now, are they weak little pansy men? No. Carpenters are like, oh, hey, I'm a carpenter. I can pick up the sheetrock, the 2x4s. A carpenter. You tell me this. Someone who is so, how would be the appropriate word, but his appearance was as such that you have fishermen, and even to this day, fishermen don't play.
That's right.
You passing those heavy nets over the side of the boat, you know you're not soft.
That's right.
The calluses that you develop on your hand. And these men that were casting nets, Jesus walked by and said, come, and I'll let you fish our net. And if it was like, hello, my name's Jesus, how are you? They'd be like, get out of here. But that's not who Jesus was. His aura, his presence, his air, he showed that he was just more. Yeah, he knew his purpose.
Yeah.
But Jesus was the only one, so I would, disagree. We agree to disagree, but everybody else had to have a point of breaking in their life where they said, you got to decide. You have to decide. When you decide, coming from the word descending, you got to cut something off. You got to decide, you know what? I'm gonna cut off the rest of that junk. You have to decide. There comes a point where, look, and I'm telling you, I was even looking at something personal. I'm looking in the office, I said, man, it's just getting crazy again. There's always something coming up. And I said, and I made a decision. I'm just going to go in there and clean the office.
Amen.
Amen? My wife would say, amen. Amen. And that's how I said, I got to cut stuff off, and I'm just going to go in there and clean and pack everything out of the office, and then I'm going down to the garage. And that's it. And then but you have to decide. And when you decide, you gotta cut something off. So it's like, no matter, I ain't gonna do nothing else, but I'm just gonna go and that's what I'm gonna do. You have to decide. But when you gotta come to a breaking point where things are going to break, and you'll say, I'm gonna break off all this junk. I'm gonna break off all this sugar. I gotta break off the sugar. If you wanna, I found out, I weighed myself this morning, and I had gone down, and my wife says, she says, you know the formula, you know what you gotta do, and I'll be doing it, get my fruits, get this and that, and it's funny, and I didn't get a chance to work out and exercise this week like I normally do, but then my weight just plateaued and it went down, just like that. So I was ready for the weigh-in this morning. But that's because I followed my wife's advice. And I tell you, it wasn't perfect. I still, once in a while I fall off, but I got back on the horse. That's what you got to do. And that's what Jesus wants of us. Even though we fall off, get back on. Don't worry about, don't be proud. No, I'm flesh, I'm human. I make mistakes. I don't overestimate myself at all. Amen? And that's how we have to do it. The next thing that we want to deal with is, are we ready for this one? Everybody knows what it is? A lying tongue. I'm not even going to, we dealt with that so much this morning. Extensively. Don't stick around or hang around or be around or desire or look up. And that's part of the problem that happened in society. When you have, I don't want to pick on them, but when you have an individual that has, they said now it's up to like over 12,000 recorded lies. Yeah? Okay. Up to 12,000 recorded lies. I remember the Republicans in Congress, they made a big deal when they were giving us a speech, and then one of them called out and yelled out Barack Obama was a liar. And people were like, what do you mean? The first one I was disrespectful to the president, and he was lying, and he was giving his perspective. They said it wasn't an actual lie. He was giving, and they disagreed with his perspective of the situation, and they called him a liar. It's funny now, those same Republicans are in our thing, and I'm neither Democrat or Republican, they're in office, and their leader has recorded over 12,000 lies, and I don't hear one person calling him a liar on their side. And that bothers me, because personally, I used to think, maybe I was naive, I knew politicians were crooked, but I thought the Republicans were men of more integrity. I thought they had a principle, they were always trying to bring down the debt, they were doing this, but I guess that's why, like now, a lot more people have become independent. I was independent a long time ago, but you know what? Individuals are shocked that their party is a party where individuals don't have integrity. And nobody's standing up with integrity and saying, that shouldn't be. Just as I mentioned this morning, and no one should ever pray for the ruination or the ruin of a certain person. Like the mother of the representative praying that God would ruin the president. That should not happen. No one should ever pray for the destruction of a person.
That's right.
But then at the same time, the other side of the coin, we should all tell the truth. We teach our children, tell the truth. You teach the church members to tell the truth. The police, they say it's a big deal that they can use trickery. But then, once you raise your hand and swear an oath, you have to tell the truth. We're going to wrap it up in a few minutes because we don't have to go through the whole thing again. The next thing would be, we all know that hands to shed innocent blood is wrong. You kill innocents, you're wrong. You pick on somebody, a parent shedding the blood, innocent blood of a child, incorrect, wrong. A mass murderer, a gunman, any person that shed innocent blood, God hates you. A heart that manufactures wicked thoughts and plans. When you say, this is how I'm going to get my thing. I'm going to hide this, do that. God doesn't ever bless that.
That's right.
And you may make a lot of money, but then next thing you know, you're dead.
And someone else.
And someone else is, and they won't even get a chance to enjoy your money.
They fight over.
They fight over the money that you have. When you plan wickedly and I'm going to do this and that, and that's how a lot of people are just being wicked in the way they're doing things, not telling the truth. And you have people that line up behind them and say, yes, I will work with you. And they don't practice in honor and integrity. They just line up with the lies and follow the lies. Then we have people that are good and running towards evil. You never bless like God, and again the false witness, and he who sows discord amongst brethren.
They were paid.
Huh?
The false witness when Jesus was, we heard him say.
We heard him say this, they lied. We hear him say this. But one thing I want to talk about, he who sows discord among brethren. Who you guys going to say? I just want to tell you something. I want to tell you XYZ about ABC. Think about it. XYZ about ABC, yeah. I remember I had a reputation at work when they start talking. I'm sorry, I don't. And they were white, and you never want to be involved. I said, nah, because I don't want to be involved in gossip, because unless it's coming straight from the person's mouth, I don't want to know. If they want me to know, they'll come. But you have a whole culture that looks at these soap operas. Think about it. Wendy Williams and all of them, all they're doing is dishing the dirt. Or our entire society, entire social network on what's going on with who. You got this the TV, the show with that guy that used to be on the People's Court. I think he still is.
TMZ.
TMZ, and that's all they do is follow people around and dish dirt on them. Entire society, which is trying to show discord amongst the brethren. So in case of what's going on. God is not happy with that. Regardless of the amount of money that they're making doing it, God is not happy with that. And I share with you, I found something when I was doing some research. Virgin Atlantic had a bunch of sayings to show the core team that they have and what makes the difference. And some of the things that they these quotes that they had. First of all, and I'm going to share them with you and we'll end it with this. And one of them, I found that if you want to go fast, go alone. You hear that? If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together with others. Amen? You understand the difference?
Yeah.
Another one, and this is one I've always loved this one, coming together is a beginning. Right? We come together. Keeping together is progress. Amen? We came together. We're keeping together. But as we look down the road, this is working together is success. And that was by Henry Ford.
Always have to work.
Yep, that's what he said. When you learn to work together as a church, as a family, you'll be successful. When somebody doesn't work with the family, when someone believes that I should benefit and everybody else should suffer, that's not working together. So coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress. Because we're going to have bumps in the road.
That's right.
But you know what? We keep it together. And then working together is success. And then another is that a dream, you dream alone, is only a dream. But a dream, you dream together, is a reality. And that's talking about teams. And I think that was in Anonymous. We have to have dreams. And then Mother Teresa said, I can do things you cannot. You can do things I cannot. Together we can do great things. So you can do things, I can do things. But when we put us together, we can do so much more. Next it says that you may have the greatest bunch of individual stars in the world. Everybody's a hero. Everybody's great. But if they don't play together, the club won't be worth a dime. And that was said by Babe Ruth. Amen?
Amen.
Everybody's a superstar. But if you don't want to be a team, Lord have mercy. Because that's what happens to a lot of people even in churches. And the reason I put this, I found this out, I said this is great for church. Because if we're going to win souls, you may be a superstar, but unless you want to be part of the team and not, oh, I'm going to change the plans, I'm going to do my own thing here. No, you got to be part of the team.
Yeah.
Amen?
Amen.
And then it says, together, the club won't be worth a dime unless you work with the team. And next it says, great things are done by a series of small things brought together. Amen?
Amen.
Great things are done by a series of small things brought together. And that's said by Vincent van Gogh. Ken H. Butchart said, none of us is as smart as all of us. Amen? You may be smart, you're smart, but when we get together, Lord, look out. And then it says, Louisa May Alcott wrote, it takes 2 flints to make a fire. So you can rub one and you can find an object, but when you put 2 of them together, it causes a spark. Let's work together. Amen? You start a fire up in here.
Amen.
A Japanese proverb says, a single arrow is easily broken, but not 10 in a bundle. Think about it. Single arrow, easily broken. But when you have 10, you can't break them. We got 10, they can't break us. Amen?
Amen.
And then Ted Kennedy, the senator, had written, he says, what divides us is pale in comparison to what unites us. Amen? And I like that. It's like, wow, what divides us is pale. And we're all human beings, we're all different, but what divides us is pale in comparison to what unites us. And we have a greater reason and purpose because we're all here serving the Lord. Amen? We want everyone of our family members, people around us, to know Jesus, But you know what? If somebody is not interested, what did Jesus himself say to do? Dust the
Dirt off your feet.
off your feet and move on. If somebody is determined that they're gonna be nasty and they're gonna keep doing what they're doing, leave them alone. And they're the person who's gonna say, but aren't you a Christian? Aren't you supposed to let me walk all over you? Aren't you a Christian? I'm supposed to be able to kick you, stab you, lie on you, steal from you, and not a Christian. You're supposed to be able. What Bible are they reading? And on that note, I say, let us work together. Go ahead.
Didn't Paul say if people who are divisive, you should leave
Leave them
they
alone.
should be anathema? He said something to that effect.
Yeah.
I might be wrong, but.
No, if people are divisive, if people are divisive, if I remember, you stay away from them. So now, any questions? Any questions? I just want everyone to work together.
That's the only way things work
And
together
David-
against each other.
David, in Psalm 101 and verse 5, he said, well, verse 4, let's start with verse 3. It says, I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave to me. A froward heart shall depart from me. I will not know a wicked person. Whoso privily slandereth his neighbor, him will I cut off. Him that had a high look and a proud heart will not I suffer. Mine eye shall be upon the faithful of the land, that they may dwell with me. He that walketh in a perfect way, he shall serve me. He that worketh deceit, which is a lying tongue, shall not dwell within my house. He that telleth lies shall not tarry in my sight.
Amen.
And this is David is like, if you're lying, I don't want to see.
I don't want to deal with you.
You're not still in my house, and I don't even want you in my sight.
If somebody's a liar, you stay away from them. And the text that we were talking about was Titus 3:10. Titus 3:10, and it says, warn a divisive person once, and then a second time. After that, have nothing to do with them. Did you hear me? That's Titus 3:10. It's Titus 3:10. And then it says, warn a divisive person once, and then warn them twice, a second time, then warn them a second time. After that, have nothing to do with them. And that's Titus 3:10.
The King James says, a man that is a heretic, after the first and the second admonition, reject.
Reject.
After you walk them 2 times.
Two times. You tell them once, you tell them twice,
Let's
that's
sit
it.
down and waste your energy. They're not going to change. Give them fair warning and then leave them alone.
And I thought people were saying, oh, but when someone is divisive, the best thing, I know my father said to me, and I'm going to get personal. My father said to me yesterday, he says, you know what? It's the best thing that we would have done for him to come up there and stay with me. And I was like, wow. I didn't expect that. My father said it's the best thing that we ever done. That warmed my heart. Because all the time we used to have, there was arguments and somebody whispering and lying in your ear, telling you this and that, and causing division. But when my father said that, I said, to God be the glory. To God be the glory. At this time, let's have a closing song, and then we'll stand. Then we'll have the closing song, then we'll stand and sing the closing song. Amen? That's what I'm saying.
Okay, we sing number 21.
Number-
Immortal, invisible God only wise. 21.
Okay? Stand when you have it. Let's start singing together. Do you want me to play it or we'll sing it out the top? Play it?
Yeah, be fine.
All right, do not mind. Let me get right now. Amen, amen. At this time, we'll ask Velva to say a prayer for us. Amen.
Most kind Heavenly Father, we come before your throne, ask the forgiveness of our sin and God will deed. And thank you for the sermon that was preached today. And hope that we will enjoy and take it with us and also share it as well. Bless those that's calling home, Lord, give them traveling mercy. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. For the words of our mouth and the meditations of our hearts, be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. For those, we'll see you next week at 12 o'clock. God bless you. Have a wonderful week and take care.